Jason T. Swigard had no idea and has no idea until right at this very second of me saying it that Oregon is doing their own Hard Knocks.
They are doing their own Hard Knocks.
It's called That Team Out West.
Yes, it is.
And last night was debut episode 1.
It's about 33 minutes long, I want to say, so not a full
33
hour,
minutes.
but about 33 minutes.
I watched this instead of the actual Hard Knocks, which I woke up and watched this morning. I have 2 takeaways, okay, and then I'll let you just go because I can only imagine
who's
how
got
much
the Jergens.
build-up.
You got the Jergens in here?
In-house production.
In-house production.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean they're never going to let anybody.
They're not putting this on
around
HBO. Yeah, it's just they have their video team has done an unbelievable job in the last year. Remember, they did all their cinematic recaps of their games with all the behind-the-scenes footage. That's where this kind of started, and then they wanted to do something for fall camp.
I will tell you right now, since you didn't even know it existed, if you watched it, you wouldn't know if it was HBO or in-house.
It looks
That's
like
how
Hard
good
Knocks.
it is.
Looks like Hard Knocks.
It looks precisely like Hard Knocks. And so here's my first quick 2 takeaways. I got another one, but I'll react to what you say.
Okay.
1, watched this and just went, why is my team not doing this? And whether you're a Husky, you're a Beav, you're a Buckeye, you're a Wolverine, you're a Roll Tide, and maybe these programs are, and I just haven't heard of them because I didn't know about the Oregon one until yesterday afternoon.
Mm-hmm.
I just don't understand why every college program is not doing this version of this. I don't understand it. It's the easiest promotion. It's your own promotion. It's access. It's everything we crave and love about Hard Knocks, but it's your college team.
Mm-hmm.
My second one, it is never, ever going to be normal to see Mike Kavanaugh sitting in an Oregon staff meeting in Sisters, Oregon, ever. And he looked at the camera. Yeah, I forgot he was at Oregon.
How'd he look in green and yellow? Pretty good, huh?
He looked like even he knew, and this is weird, isn't it? Me here sitting with you guys and this team, and he doesn't talk like a Canadian. I don't know why I did that.
Yeah, you stole Mike Parker from us, all right? We get Mike Kavanaugh.
He screams a lot of profanities during practice. There was never a greater difference of human than watching Mike Riley talk to the players and Mike Kavanaugh. Oh, my God, they couldn't be different.
One is a very nice guy. The other one's a sailor.
But, yeah, so those are my first 2 observations. I got a couple little ones. What did you think? Episode 1, That Team Out West.
I mean, you can go ahead and fire away any joke that you want. One, That Team Out West is a nickname that they gave themselves. You are right. Nobody calls them that. They're playing into it.
LeBron gave himself his own nickname.
That he did. You can go ahead and throw the Dan Lanning, they play for clicks, we play for wins, Hollywood grass, Colorado pregame. You can throw whatever you want at me. None of it is going to affect me. You know why? This is porn for dirt. This is my porn, man. I live and breathe Oregon football. The season is almost here. I cannot even begin to describe to you how excited I am for it. And I hate to tell you this. You can make fun of my program. You can not like it. You think it's cheesy. You can think it's corny. Your opinion does not matter to me. For Oregon fan, this is this is perfection. This is the most anticipated Oregon season in a long time, probably since the Mariota back year in 2014, where you knew, all right, we got a chance with him to maybe win it all, to maybe win a Heisman, but the year before ended in a bit of a thud the way the season ended.
Joey's final year and Mariota's year is what I would say probably in terms of the most hype
going
ever
into
in
the year.
history.
The 2010 year, they ended up in the national championship, but that year, Masoli was kicked off the team in the offseason. Darren Thomas was a new starting quarterback. You're like, they're going to be good, but how good? That was a bit of an unknown. And so this is one of the most anticipated years, if not the most anticipated in the history of the program. And to have this kind of access and this kind of behind the scenes, I love it. And if I were not a fan of Oregon watching this, I would have the same exact reaction that you did. Mm-hmm. And that is, why does every university not want to have something like this out there that's going to generate attention, it's going to generate conversation, and it's going to be red meat for your fan base. It's going to get them more excited to buy tickets, to want to go to games. Not that was lacking in any way, shape, or form.
Sure.
But it just is giving you
more juice.
It's giving you a glimpse of the program that you don't ever get with college football, because this is everything in college football is under a dome of secrecy. secrecy. There's big news yesterday about the SEC might mandate they have to report their injuries.
No, they will.
They're
will. Going to.
Thank Jesus. Why are we not doing that? We should. People are gambling on this. Like, well, stop hiding it. Stop hiding your answers. And so behind the scenes, the inside look and the comments you're getting from coaches, the dime time retreat, the coaches retreat, players retreats, team bonding activities. I loved every second of this. It was incredibly well done.
I thought it was, I agree with you. You mentioned their cinematic recaps that a lot of Oregon fans. I didn't watch every one of those last year. I watched every game, so I didn't need to always see the behind-the-scenes stuff.
The Colorado was the most viral one.
Yeah, I think a lot of that is for like the diehards of the teams, and that's fine. That's great. I really thought it was as good as the Hard Knocks, like production-wise, the way it was shot. I kind of got I felt like I actually heard Will Stein talk. Got a glimpse of who he is, Taj Lapoy. I'm trying to eye what house they rented at Cannon Beach to see if I can ever rent that house because, man, that was a sick-ass house.
That was badass.
I was wondering how many bedrooms were in that Sisters Oregon house that Lanning and the staff went to. But what strikes me is a couple things. One, Lanning's third season and how – not that he came to Oregon lacking confidence. I would never say that. I thought his press conference, everything, he's just been it seems like even if he hasn't accomplished what he wants to, he falls to Washington last year. He still comes into the season, I thought, on that thing with a lot of bravado that, we're doing this.
Yeah.
Whatever it is for us, and we know what he wants to do, there's a confidence with him that I can't blame any Oregon fan for arguing with people on social media of what he is or who he is as a coach, even if he hasn't done it yet and everybody throws in your face the Oregon State game a couple years ago, Washington 3 times. I totally get watching and listening to him why people feel the way they feel that root for Oregon. The other thing is, you talk about domes of secrecy. There's almost nothing from practice reports nowadays. And I don't mean that as a shot to any journalist. They're down there. They're trying their ass off to do their job.
They get a 10-minute window. Oregon's media had their first access to practice of all of fall camp yesterday, and it was 15 minutes.
But they never get anything because the biggest thing we've gotten so far is Will Stein telling us Sadiq might be Brock Bowers.
Yeah.
You don't really get anything. We got injury glimpses, and we got positional depth concern. That's not a big deal for all of us that grew up following this stuff because beat writers used to provide that every day. But in the dome of secrecy in college, Lanning on tape saying, right, we got top-end DB play, but we got young guys, and there's nothing in the middle. So you're actually a little concerned or questioning what your depth is and how it's going to be, and is there somebody that's going to emerge and step up and help you fill in voids if something is to happen? I don't get that from practice reports.
No.
And so it's it's a glimpse into a program that I think your overall point of dome of secret, it's 100% right. You don't get it anymore. He's choosing to do it on this Oregon production.
Well, and I think the bravado you're talking about with Lanning is probably coming from one, just being more comfortable in his shoes, right? Year 3, you're just more comfortable when you've done a job for 2-3 years as you are when you first begin.
Understands the nuances of what it means to run a program versus being a top assistant or year 1 doing it.
And he also knows that attention is good. Whether fans want to laugh at that or not, it's good for recruiting. It's good for just buzz around your team. It's good for eyeballs. It's all of that stuff is beneficial for you as a program. But I also think part of his bravado and confidence going into this year is he's a guy who understands and knows what championship rosters look like, and he knows that he has that in Eugene this year. And he probably would have told you that last year going into year 2. He felt like they could win, and Oregon was very talented last year. He definitely didn't think that they could probably do that in year 1, but he knows what a championship roster looks like. He knows the importance of offensive line play, defensive line play, the places that you need depth, where you need to be skilled at. And he feels like he has that in Eugene. And so I think you're seeing a little bit more cockiness and confidence coming from Dan Lanning because of that, because he finally feels like he has enough bullets in the chamber, if you will, to go get something done. The other part that I really did enjoy, and this is one of those dumb message board things, but there's been this debate the last couple of days online because a Tennessee recruiting insider, they stole a 4-star tight end. A 4-star tight end from Oregon decommitted over the weekend and committed to Tennessee. And you never want to see guys decommit, but it happens in every recruiting class around the country. Signing day is not till December. It's a long ways away. There will be more, and Oregon will flip some guys from other schools. That's the way it goes. But there was a Tennessee insider that tried to run with this BS narrative that the reason that guys in the last 2 weeks had decommitted from Oregon was because Lanning doesn't build relationships, because he doesn't talk to the families. It's all just about, here's a paycheck. If you want to sign it, take it. If you don't want to go somewhere else.
That's like the opposite of what we've been told, though.
Exactly. Well, and that's where it was hilarious to watch this and to see the team building, the relationship building, the culture that he's trying to develop inside a locker room, which is not easy to do when you're a program that brings in 15 new guys-ish every year through the transfer portal and a lot of new freshmen. It's not an easy thing to do, but I thought that they showed some of that team-building stuff that he finds incredibly important and some of the culture stuff that he finds incredibly important that just shot down that narrative that it's not a relationship-building program.
How'd you feel about Ty Burrell being the narrator?
Love the guy that they got to do it because that's a big name and everybody knows the voice immediately.
My wife, is that Phil from Modern Family? Yeah. He went there.
It's just,
damn, they got everybody. I know.
He's not the best narrator. He doesn't have. I'm a
he
deep
sounded
voice
like
guy.
a guy reading, which is weird because actors are so good at reading scripts and memorizing it and saying it without sounding like that. Whereas, like when he did that, it's just like, and the Ducks know they're gonna come into the year, and I'm like, okay.
Can we get James Earl Jones? Can we get Morgan Freeman next? We got all that Nike money. Where's Phil? Phil, drop a bag.
Q would have been a good narrator.
He would have been good. He's got a good voice.
I'd love to try to write a paragraph of what Ty Burrell says and get Q to read it.
Anthony Newman would be a phenomenal guy.
I agree.
To narrate that.
He's got good pipes, man.
As a former player. So they're going to have one of
these.
these.
The only good thing about that pregame show.
Yeah, you're damn right about that. He carries it every Saturday. They're going to have this every week, man, and I love it. It's going to be, I think there's 4 episodes that are coming out. So I knew this was coming because they teased it like a week ago, and they said that team out west, fall camp behind the scenes, blah, 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 coming in the next few weeks.
I don't follow that account, so
Understandable. I'm in the bubble. You're not in the bubble.
Exactly.
Totally understandable. And so I forgot, though, that yesterday was the day, and I was literally on the toilet in the afternoon. Teddy was taking a nap, and this got released, and I just thought, I'm sitting here for 30 minutes. I'm not moving.
Barstool did a blurb on it. It's how I found out. They were all hot and bothered that he's calling the team out west. I'm like, oh, God, really?
I love that more people hate my program now than ever.
You guys are the most hated team on the West Coast.
Love it. Oh, it's not even close.
It's, well, yeah. Give it time. It could be, but right now it's not. No.
Lincoln's too irrelevant. Coach a defense, and then maybe people will hate you again, but you got to win in order to be hated, and Oregon is definitely hated.